Hello, hello. Um, so just recently I have been dealing with emotions, and it made me sort of wonder just a lot of things about it. I feel like I mm, I feel like emotions are a very big thing for a lot of people, in the fact that a lot of people can be driven by them. If somebody annoys you or something, some people will yell out at them, or some people will get angry and lash out, or somebody might be afraid and like cowered away or shy away from something. But something I think I've started to think about is just this sort of like need to coddle feelings, but not so much like that's not the thing in itself, but it's just like this sort of, it seems like you literally, most people are, you're like not separable from their feelings. Like for me, not for me, but what I've seen is that people can, you know, feel a certain way and somehow lose themselves, or feel a certain way, or like people who are on like a suicide hotline or something, they're told to call somebody, and like it's meant to alleviate those intense feelings, because it's those intense feelings which cause them to act in a way. And I just feel like I don't exactly have that. Obviously I feel scared and sad sometimes, and I can feel happy and joke and all of that, but I've never really felt like, it's not that I never felt it, but I feel like I was sort of trained out of um, listening to my feelings. It feels like the things that I feel and my emotions are unreliable and sort of dangerous and suspect. For example, um, in a debate or something, or if anytime there's a discussion and I might hear something that might go counter to what I think, I do have sometimes an urge to, you know, like not want to hear it. I'm like, oh, like, how could that be? That's exactly the opposite of how I think, or this or that. And I sort of care about, the rigor of how I think. So, but, paradoxically, it makes me sort of want to shut it up even more. It makes me want to shut up that reaction, and I sort of kill it. And I'm like, okay, let's look at this thing they're saying from every side, and suspend my feelings. Same thing with other things. Like I sort of make it not a point to blow up on people, or I'm not perfect, but um, I'm not like a rude guy. If I'm in a bad mood or something, most of the time you won't know. I'm not gonna take it out on you. But plenty of people will go around with sour faces and stuff, and they sort of erupt on you, or they just kind of are emotionally just leaking everywhere. And I kind of always felt very sloppy and a little bit immature to me. Um, and everybody talks about being rational. Everybody talks about it, but it's like we're all hypocrites, because it's like you just suit whatever you want to think to fit how you feel. You can just rationalize anything if you really try, and if you have a big enough ego that you don't check. And so, just this sort of thing where all these other people, you know, they'll say you hurt my feelings, or they'll say, I felt uncomfortable with that, or it's just people are very comfortable with their feelings in a way that I'm not. And, it always felt like it's kind of hard to do that because it feels like I just do mental gymnastics because, somebody hurts my feelings. Sometimes it's not personal, sometimes you could get advice and people take that personally and it's not personal or it's something to help you. And there's like a lot of this stuff where it's like, are my feelings valid for this? Are they not? And just in any case, it's made me very decoupled and suspect from my feelings and taking them into account, really. But I think it also makes me kind of blind in some ways because um, I can just tend to. I can deal with a lot of things for a pretty long time, and even if it kind of sucks or kind of destroys my feelings in a way, oh, if it sort of takes a toll on my feelings in a way, it's kind of hard to do something with that. Like I don't know, like many of the things that people say they do, like a lot of my just motivation is sort of either from a value or something irrespective of feeling because your feelings change. Your feelings aren't consistent. I could feel one day and then the next day, I feel a completely different other way. It's not durable. So, I have values or, fears or something like deep within me that's just always there. And that's kind of how I based a lot of my actions. But then with this like mental health stuff and just most people, um, I feel disconnected because if somebody like asks me, do I feel okay or are you okay? It's kind of more just like, what's the point of asking that? Like, why are you asking that? Because, even if it sucks or if I'm doing something I really don't like or just I have to deal with stuff, asking me if it's okay and it doesn't do anything and you're just bringing up my feelings, it's kind of not helpful at all. And in fact, it kind of shines a light on something, that it's kind of more effective to leave under the surface. And I definitely think there are a lot of maybe unhealthy things to that sort of mindset. Unhealthy being, I have a tough time being in the moment or being in tune with my feelings in a way that's like I'm present or just, um, yeah, I feel like I can't let go of things, as in it kind of sits in my mind. I can go to sleep and wake up and um, yeah, like my feelings can change from that and stuff. But it just doesn't feel like durable. And I don't know, something about that volatility, just going back and forth of, being okay, being in a good mood or being in a bad mood. And just, you can't really control in a way. Another thing that annoys me too is how am I supposed to how am I supposed to balance this, right? Like I was always like, oh, what are you looking forward to, or oh, what's something that you like doing, and a lot of the things that people like doing are bad for them. You know, I like to eat tasty foods, but a lot of the time it's not good for me. I like to, you know, honestly, it's more about what I don't like, and it's more about avoiding stuff that I don't like. Like I don't like putting in a lot of effort, to be honest, or at least the idea. Even I feel like it's harder for me to start something hard than do it because I just know like I'm gonna struggle. I know, and I've been through it, but I also know like I feel like at the end of it, it's never really worth it that much, and it just gets to a point where it's like you're doing stuff that's hard or you're doing the right things even then, and then if there's no you know hard concrete benefit or hard concrete return on investment, or if you like somehow move the goalpost and you know you aren't satisfied with that, it literally makes everything sort of kind of just like you don't want to do it because if I'm not enjoying the activity and the activity takes a lot out of me, it's very hard cognitively or physically, and then after I do it, I'm still not satisfied. It's like, every single part of that activity is not fun. It's not like, what am I doing it for? And I feel like the stuff I do these days are just things I like need to do. Um, do school stuff. I'm abroad, so doing stuff. I have Chinese classes, and you know, it feels like I should be doing more in a way sometimes. Like, oh, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. There's always a million shoulds, but you know, in a way, it's already just a lot to do this normal stuff that I'm supposed to do when it feels like it's like a triple cost to just do the one thing. And the annoying thing is how on the outside it looks the same, right? It's all the same piece of paper you turn in at the end of the day. But, other people, they may like the activity somehow. I don't know. They might find something in it that they really enjoy, or they just, or they still believe it's like a very good payoff. Or for me at least, just with Chinese, it's a complicated relationship because it feels like it points out everything that I don't have. It points out the years I still have left to master it, even though I've been doing it for such a long time. It's like a part of my identity, all this stuff. So, yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do with my feelings. And if you don't look at everything through a sort of opportunistic lens, like I've been doing, like the only thing you can do is really look at it through your feelings. But I don't know, like, should I have had more concrete or realistic expectations, I guess? Maybe calibrating it would be better, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So.